MK really know how to hook you in with its commercials. Welcome, my friends, to Mortal Kombat 2. Midway had no idea that the first Mortal Kombat would be such a huge hit, so work immediately began on a sequel. They knew it had to be bigger, better, in every conceivable way, and it was. More characters, more stages, more special moves. It had everything the first game had and more. Well, almost everything. We'll go into that.
Let's just get started with that plot. Coming out the Mortal Kombat 2 comic book, in the intro to the game, only 7 warriors survived the battles. Liu Kang defeated Goro fair and square, but Shang Tsung didn't take it well, and thus sent his best warriors to eliminate the survivors. Kano, Johnny Cage, and Sonya were fending off Goro, whilst Raiden, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion were fending off Shang Tsung's armies, while Liu Kang fought Shang Tsung one-on-one. However, Shang Tsung's scheme would come to a violent end at Liu Kang's hands. Meanwhile, with Shang Tsung's defeat, the island began to crumble into dust. What is known is that Scorpion and Sub-Zero fought, with Scorpion proving the victor and enacting retribution on his killer. On the pit, Goro, Sonya, and Kano fell off the pit, while Johnny Cage is able to hang onto the ledge. Raiden manages to save Johnny Cage, and the two go crashing into the ocean. Johnny Cage is eventually picked up by the Special Forces led by Jax.
Jax. Well, he's Sonya's CO, commanding officer. His role in this game is basically to find and rescue Sonya.
With the apparent death of Goro and his failure, Shang Tsung faces death at the hands of his master, Shao Kahn.
Shao Kahn. Well, every series has a bad guy. Street Fighter 2 has Bison, Star Wars has Darth Vader, and I could really go on. But the thing is, we don't know a lot about Shao Kahn's backstory. Who is he? Where did he come from? Well, they've never revealed too much. We have seen him unmasked, though, as we can see here in the Mortal Kombat 2 comic book, and this did appear in Shaolin Monks, but I'll go into that when I cover that game.
Shang Tsung's new plan is to lure the Earthbound warriors into the Outworld, where they will face certain death at the hands of Shao Kahn himself.
This is where we get our first introduction to Outworld, which has become a defining part of Mortal Kombat lore, the Realms. Shao Kahn wants to conquer Earthbound, but he can't do it without winning the Mortal Kombat tournament. Shang Tsung was on the verge of finally doing that, but he blew it at the last moment.
Shao Kahn likes the plan so much that he restores Shang Tsung's youth. That's awfully generous. Gorbak, Goro's father, wants retribution for Goro's death, and that's where we meet Kintaro, who is basically our Goro for the game. He was supposed to be an anthropomorphic tiger, but due to memory limitations, they just made him a copy of Goro with tiger stripes. Nothing else to really say about him, so let's just move on. Here we meet the rest of Shao Kahn's forces, Kitana, Mileena, and Baraka, and Reptile as well.
Well, who do I start with? I guess I'll start with Kitana. Kitana is like my favorite female character of the series. She's got such an interesting backstory. Here we come to see her as Shao Kahn's daughter, but there's more to her than that. She's got a very personal relationship with Mileena, her twin sister. Their rivalry is basically the same as Scorpion and Sub-Zero's, at least until Mortal Kombat 9 ruined it, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We also got Baraka, who's the leader of Tarkatans. He's got blades that come out of his arms. I'm not really that big a fan of Baraka. Now we get a proper introduction to Reptile. He's the last of a race of raptors, and well, he's desperately looking for a purpose, but his endings tend to imply something else, but I'll go into that later.
Jax, meanwhile, receives a distress signal from Sonya in the Outworld. Meanwhile, Liu Kang returns home to his Shaolin temples, only to find in ruins, which Baraka's bio reveals is led by him. He vows to avenge their deaths, and is then that he's met by Kung Lao.
Kung Lao. He's a descendant of the original. He and Liu Kang are as close as brothers. He's got a pretty awesome hat like Oddjob from James Bond.
Raiden warns the Earthbound warriors of Shang Tsung's challenge. From then on, he disappears into the Outworld himself. Johnny Cage joins in, disappearing from the set of his new movie. Jax goes to find Sonya. Meanwhile, Sub-Zero mysteriously reappears to continue his mission to assassinate Shang Tsung. And Scorpion, upon hearing of Sub-Zero's return, goes to the Outworld to finish his own mission. He's gotta be wondering, wait a minute, I killed you! But then again, if he could return from death, so too could Sub-Zero. With that, the tournament is set, and combat begins. So let's get started on that gameplay. Mortal Kombat 2 sticks to the same tried and true formula. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But there are some improvements, and characters were given some unique attributes. For example, Jax's backhand can be used to stun your opponent, which can get you a free uppercut. Kung Lao does a headbutt instead of a backhand. It's a minor thing, but it's a nice little aesthetic. The game is bloodier than the original. I mean, look at Melina's fatality. You can actually see bones this time. Let me go into the gameplay of each character. As I said before, there's new special moves and new finishing moves. Each character now has 2 fatalities instead of just 1. There's also friendships in Bay Valleys, which are put in because of the backlash against the fatalities. They're amusing, to put it mildly, to varying degrees.
Victory. Friendship. Friendship?
Scorpion now has new additional special moves. He has a scissors move, which he can use to trip his opponent, and an air grab maneuver. His spear is largely useless, to be honest. Though I can occasionally pull off a combo by using punch and the spear with an uppercut to follow. His uppercut is slow, but he's got a good roundhouse kick. His old fatality returns with an added bonus. Yes, sometimes Dan Forden will pop up and yell, "Fascinating." His new fatality involves cutting his opponent in half. Brutal. His friendship is... merchandising. Sub-Zero's uppercut and roundhouse kick are the same as Scorpion's. His slide and freeze move return, but he also has a ground freeze that he can use to catch your opponents off guard as unblockable. He doesn't have a spine rip fatality, so they compensated by having him freeze his opponent, punch their remains, and he can throw a snowball at them, reducing them to guts and bones. Brutal. His friendship is exactly the same as Scorpion's. Cheap corporate sellouts. I never bought any Mortal Kombat toys.
What?
Liu Kang is essentially the all-around character. Neither the best nor the worst at everything. The most accessible character. He's got a new bicycle kick, which looks impractical but awesome. Maybe it can be done in real life, I don't know. Has anyone tried it? He can also fire fireballs high and low, and can even do them in the air. And when fighting against him, that can be a real bitch. He's still got his lame cartwheel fatality. What they give him for the second fatality? That's actually pretty awesome. His friendship? Well, I don't know why, but that's probably my favorite simply due to how out of character it is. Kung Lao is a lot of fun to use. His hat is fun to throw, he's got a dive kick in the air, he's got a teleport that doesn't really do much. Kung Lao is a very technical fighter. His fatality? Yeah, that's pretty nasty right there. His friendship? Cute. Kitana? She's got insane combo potential. She's got her weapons in the form of fans. She's got a fan throw, a fan lift, and you can combo these moves any way you see fit. Ooh, I love her. She's so good in this game. She's got a simple but effective fatality. But her kiss of death fatality?
Kitana wins.
That's a little comical. Her friendship? Aw, how nice.
Kitana.
Melina, she plays similarly to Kitana, but she's got size instead of fans as her weapon. She can do a side throw, a roll attack, and a teleport kick. Her fatalities include cutting her opponents with her size and... oh god, that is horrifying. Her friendship? That's nice, I guess. Johnny Cage plays like he did in the original. He's fast and about technique. In addition to his force ball and shadow kick returning, he now has a shadow uppercut, which looks incredibly flashy, and he can still do the nut punch. But he can't use it on women still. I don't know. With all the controversy in the game already, I don't know why they were worried about crossing that line. His old fatality returns where he punches off someone's head, but he can also rip off an opponent from their torso. His friendship is just giving his opponent his autograph. This was so memorable it got referenced in the live-action movie. Jax is a grappler. He's all about getting in close and doing major damage. His uppercut is the best in the game. This extends to his special moves. He's got his gotcha grab. He can slam you to the ground repeatedly, ground pound the floor. His fatalities are pretty gruesome. He can pull out your arms and completely disintegrate your head. As for his friendship, could be better. Reptile, well, he plays similar to Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but he's a reptile, of course. He has a force ball which can lead to uppercuts if used right. He can slide like Sub-Zero, and he can turn himself invisible, and he can do an acid spit. His one fatality really takes advantage of reptilian form and he swallows your opponent's head. The other is not so special. He basically turns invisible, and I don't even want to think about what he does. His friendship is just another copy of Scorpion and Sub-Zero's. Nothing special. Baraka? Well, he's all about using his blades. His Blade's Fury attack is really useful, and does a lot of damage. He has a Blade Spark attack where he does a double kick whenever he jumps. I find that noteworthy. His fatalities are pretty basic, just a decapitation. His second one is really sadistic. As for his friendship, well, that is certainly nice for a brutal monster. Shang Tsung, I'm guessing the reason he was made young is because nobody wanted to play as an old man. He really doesn't have any unique abilities outside of throwing a skull fireball. He can throw up to 3. But his real draw is that he can turn to any of the other characters, so if you want to be Scorpion with Katana, you can just turn into them instead. His fatalities are... I don't even know what he does there. His Soul Steal, though, that fits him. He also has a hidden third fatality, which I don't really bother to do. Couldn't pull it off, sue me. His friendship is... meh. Raiden, well, he plays exactly the same as he did in the first game. He's all about using his lightning and torpedoes to rack up combos. I can't seem to pull off his fatality. His other one's essentially the same as the first, but this one, yeah, can't do it. Epic fail. As for his friendship, Kid Thunder. Kid Thunder, is that a meme? I swear it's a meme. The sages in this game really highlight just how different Outworld is from Earthrealm. In the first game, you're on Shang Tsung's island, so here the sages feel more erotic and alien. Which is appropriate because you are in another world. In the first game, you only had one stage fatality. This game has 3. You got the Deadpool, which houses an acid bath waiting for your victim.
Almost.
No, there's no relation to that Deadpool. No, not that Deadpool. The good Deadpool. You know, that actually would have been kind of funny. If they ever made a Mortal Kombat vs. Marvel game, they should actually have Deadpool appear on the Deadpool. The jokes would write themselves. It's not gonna happen, not with NetherRealm now being part of Warner Brothers who have the rights to DC characters, but hey, a guy can dream, can he? You got the Kombat Tomb, which has a stage fatality and a spike speaking above the combat arena. You can see dragons flying in the background. I thought that was really cool and it added a sense of mystique to Outworld. You got the Wasteland, which pretty much shows how desolate Outworld really is. The Tower, where these really creepy guys in robes watch you fight. Who are these guys? They'll play a very important role in the next game. You got the Living Forge, which has trees that are alive, and sometimes you can see 2 hidden characters teasing their appearance. I'll go into them soon. The Armory, which is nothing special. The Pit 2, which has an interesting appearance of 2 fighters in the background. You look very close and you can see it's just 2 Liu Kang sprites facing each other, but one's on fire, and that character is going to play a very interesting role in the NK mythos in the games to come. There's a stage fatality where you can send someone plummeting to their doom and you're treated to a 3D view. Finally, you got the Portal. This image was so iconic that it was included in the NetherRealm Studios logo, which is why its absence of Mortal Kombat 9 is rather inexcusable. Finally, there's Khan's Arena, where Shao Kahn himself watches you fight, while in the background you see the 2 combatants from MK1 who didn't return, Kano and Sonya tied up in the background. Interesting. So with that, I'll go into the secrets. This game increases the scale. In the first game there was only 1, but in this game there's 3 secret fighters. I was only able to access 2 of them, but I'm going to show you all of them anyway. First, if Dan Forden randomly pops up on the portal stage, you press down and start and you'll be transported to Goro's lair where you'll fight Smoke.
Smoke. Smoke. Smoke is Sub-Zero's best friend, but he has a tragic history, which I'll go into in the next game.
The second is accomplished by, on the arcade ladder before the question mark, you must be able to defeat your opponent using only low kicks. If you accomplish that, you'll fight Jade.
Jade. Well, Jade is Katana's best friend, but we won't find that out till the next game.
The last one is by winning 52-player matches in a row. Call that, you'll fight Noob Saibot. No, that does not mean what you think it does. It's Boon Tobias backwards.
Feel the power of
Noob Saibot. We find out later that he's a warrior from Hell, just like Scorpion, but who is he exactly? What's his identity? Chances are you already know, but I'm not going to go into it just yet. I want to save it. Although I'll say this, if they had planned that out from the beginning, his name would probably not be Noob Saibot.
With that, let me talk real quick about how cheap the AI is. Nothing is more annoying than trying an uppercut but getting an uppercut in return, or the AI conveniently knowing what special move to counter yours.
I'm beginning to understand just how these games made their quarters.
And that leads me into the end bosses. Shang Tsung can be a real cheap bastard. He always counters everything you do, and there's no strategy to beating him. You just have to hope you get lucky. Kintaro, well, he's like Goro, except he has a few new moves like the teleport stomp, but there is a trick. You have to keep using jump kicks and hope you get him in a pattern. It doesn't always work, you just have to keep trying. Shao Kahn, well, he's all about mocking you. He's more powerful than you, and he knows it. He's got a charge attack that can take off a lot of health, and he has an energy arrow attack. I have found the key to beating him. It involves standing close to him and repeatedly tapping high kick, and you might get him in a pattern where he'll keep getting hit, but it doesn't always work. Eventually you'll wear him down and he'll turn to stone and explode. Huh. Well, we got endings to cover, so let's go into them. Baraka. Known for his wild attacks, Baraka attacks Shang Tsung, then Kintaro, then Shao Kahn. With Outworld now under his rule, the rest of the Tarkatans laid waste to Shao Kahn's armies. Jax. Jax manages to rescue Sonya and Kano from Shao Kahn's captivity. They manage to escape back to Earthrealm, but Kano eludes capture. Sonya and Jax know that they will encounter him once again. Johnny Cage. He puts an end to Shao Kahn and is heralded as a true hero. He goes on to make Mortal Kombat 2 the movie and realizes that MK3 is inevitable. Yeah, just don't get too worked up if you're not in it. Kitana. Through her years of working as an assassin, Kitana uncovers the truth about her past. She is actually the rightful heir of Outworld, Shao Kahn having murdered her parents long ago, and that Mileena is not her twin sister, but a grotesque clone created by Shang Tsung. She defeats Shao Kahn and retakes Outworld for its former glory. Kung Lao. He joins Liu Kang and Grieve and their fallen Shaolin brothers, and emerges triumphant in the tournament, finally avenging the death of his ancestor. Liu Kang. He unleashes a fury on Shao Kahn's forces that does not stop until he defeats the Emperor himself. He pays respect to his fallen Shaolin brothers, and realizes that he's finally fulfilled his destiny. Mileena. Mileena uses Shao Kahn's suspicion of Kitana to attack him. With Khan dead, she and Baraka rule Outworld as king and queen. Raiden. Raiden knows full well Shao Kahn and Shang Tsung's treachery and vows to put an end to it. He does so and destroys the dimensional borders thus preventing Outworld from invading Earth. Reptile. Reptile learns that Shang Tsung is planning to force the remaining members of his race into slavery. Reptile manages to defeat Khan and Tsung. Now his race is free to enjoy its own peaceful existence. Scorpion. Scorpion learns that the Sub-Zero he is chasing is not the Sub-Zero who murdered him, but rather his younger brother. Scorpion then discovers a new role for his existence. He becomes the guardian of the new Sub-Zero to atone for murdering his older brother. Kinda like the Terminator, first he was about killing someone, now he's about protecting them. Shang Tsung. He betrays Shao Kahn and takes control of Outworld's armies. He finally unbalances the Furies and dooms Earthrealm to eternal darkness. Have a nice day. Sub-Zero. He is not the Sub-Zero we knew from the first game, but rather the younger brother. He accomplishes his task of assassinating Shang Tsung. He learns of Scorpion's vendetta against his brother, but will never know why his life was spared. Perhaps the third tournament is in his future?
So that was Mortal Kombat 2. It took everything the first game had and made it better. The lore was expanded, the characters were more unique and memorable, and even the gameplay was tighter. But we weren't done yet. Mortal Kombat fever was still high. We're gonna go even bigger next time. Join me next time for Mortal Kombat 3. Thanks for watching, have a fantastic day, and take care.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. Want to see more? Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.